Tim, with the way technology is growing and changing, what do you think of the future of recruiting will look like? Will programs and computers take over the role of recruiter?
Well, I don't think that the matrix is going to turn into our human resources option for finding people. No. That would be more cost effective, but we've all seen the movies and it's not a good outcome. There are three things that I think that it's going to do, which is going to be really cool. I come from a background of, gosh, I can remember people used to fax resumes in. So social recruiting that I'm a proponent for is kind of an interesting kind of mix there. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to make more phone calls. And when you're recruiting, the one-on-ones of recruiting is, can you get to 100 phone calls in a day? So social recruiting, using all the different technology that we have, is going to take passive recruiters and move them off the blocks. And the active recruiters will prevail. So entitlement, insecurity, and timidity will lose, and personality will win.
The internet is abuzz with talk about social recruiting. How important is it for employers to include a social component in their recruiting strategies, and why?
Well, I was trying to think of an analogy that fit. So I've got a great analogy. It's the Miley Cyrus scenario. So Miley Cyrus stepped up to the plate and said, I am going to show you what marketing is. Now, the people who work for you are going to go and use social media. They're going to go use this technology anyway. Now, nobody was leading Miley Cyrus in this little campaign that she had, and she is way off in left field. So she's using the power of technology and social media, but it's got her to the wrong place. So she's got to dig her way back out. So what I'm saying is get out in front of that. So we have all this stuff happening. Let's validate ourselves and be able to lead this, but also have the social media is to meet people, not to research them. So social media is not just that you search to find people, it's to meet people. So if we're validating ourselves as we want to meet people, and we're making this fun as leaders and as people working, we're making this fun, and we're bringing people to a phone call, and we're counting those phone calls. I'll go back to that every day of the week, because that's where the relationship builds. So when you're able to backtrack going, how did you get to the phone call with this candidate? How did you get the phone call with this person? Well, he followed me, and then I DM'd him, and then we got emails, and we're on LinkedIn, and then we found out a fit, and now I had an interview with him for the position. So it's really that all this super social technology stuff is floating around up there. Awesome. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is we need to step in and have a plan for it and be able to work with it rather than just letting the momentum of it just take us down the stream, and next thing you know, we're on the VMAs.
What are your top 3 tips for improving the effectiveness of a company's social media recruitment? And feel free to share any examples.
All right. Well, I'm such not a fan of having like the 3 C's of blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, I came up with 3 C's. So very, very simple. So you have creativity, consistency, and culture. All right. About creativity. It is not creative to take a picture off of Google Images and put it up in your post because it kind of fits. It's not creative, okay? I know there's a bunch of people who will be watching this are going to go, I just did that 5 minutes ago. It's okay. I'm not outing you. Everybody's done it. I do it. I've done it. But it's not creative. And we are in a culture that is, as a culture of the Western culture, that is on social media, that is brand-oriented. Mountain Dew makes a very good sugar water, but they market it like it is actually lined with gold. Okay, so they don't pay Shaun White relative to the nutritional values of their sugar water. They pay Shaun White so that we're able to engage with their brand. Consistency. Now, consistency is the key. If you don't make a follow-up call to go and reach out to somebody for a position, it is shame on you, and you need to get out of that seat and get someone in there that will. Social media and all this technology is all the same thing. It's the consistency of being able to put up that content regularly. And I'll tell you, go see a lot of big brands out there that don't do it well. But the ones that do it well, those are the ones you want to get around. So if you go and look at like Downton Abbey or the Parenthood TV show or Red Bull, they have content up regularly. It's creative. And it doesn't mean they designed this big masterpiece. It means they put up a picture that's from the show and they asked you a question that got you engaged creatively. They shook your hand before they asked for your dollar. You know what I mean? And culture. the main thing you're telling people is you're telling people about your culture. So the effectiveness of your company's social media is not that you've got somebody on there coming up with ideas. Stop coming up with ideas. Go out there and consistently tell people about your culture. So you can go on there, and here's the thing. You don't have to put up a picture that is just a click. Oh, here we are with our cool idea of a bunch of people holding up Post-it notes that say like us. Take a picture. If you guys out to lunch, engaging, use Instagram to make the picture look cool, and then put that out there throughout your social media. It doesn't say that you're smart or you came up with something. It says you use the basics well. And anybody that is looking to come and work for any place, anywhere, just wants to go, I'm coming into a place that has their foundation set, and I come in there and be who I am, whether they just want a big salary or they want to go someplace that they can have a full family environment.
What about the platforms that are a little harder to utilize on a daily basis, i.e. Instagram, Pinterest? How do you accessorize your recruiting outfit without overdoing it?
The accessorization of your social media without overdoing it. This is kind of an interesting piece, because as I look at how people are accessorizing themselves and how they're taking all the different pieces of social media together, it comes back to that one word of consistency. And I've worked in social media marketing for 8 years, and I launched a recruiting company that went from $0 to $3 million billing annually in 3 years. So I've seen both sides of it. Here's the thing. It's very, very simple to go, I want to go do something because I see other people doing it. It's a difference to go, I'm really feeling that and I want to go do it. We get our swag as a culture from the pop icons that get across the stage, right? So when you go look at what Beyonce is wearing, I hate to break it to you, but not everybody is going to be able to work what she has just put together, because it's actually been designed for her actual body type and her actual personality. But you might want to rock them shoes because they're pretty hot. I'm more saying you can go out there and you can get different pieces of her outfit. You can get out, I can go out and get maybe the hat that Jay-Z's wearing. I can go get small pieces of it, but accessorizing is a great word. So when you're going to go do Facebook, you can't miss it. You have to do Facebook. You have to have Twitter, but you have to be communicating in a way that is, again, validating your culture. So if all you're saying is I'm hiring, all you're saying is I want to date with somebody this height and this weight. And that's not swag. That's not coming out there and communicating. So when you get into places like Instagram and so forth, go out and look at people who are doing it well. Do things like they do. Do the brands that you want to aspire towards. So as you're accessorizing, that's a great, great term. You can get the accessories of it. And as you step forward into bigger pieces of it, it's all about the consistency. If you did it today, can you do that consistently for the next year? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Let's talk about the recruiters who are on the front lines using all this new technology. How can they avoid a trial by fire when it comes to understanding and using all of these new developments?
Well, I think when we're talking about sitting on the front lines, I was thinking a lot about this because it's easy to be able to look as here I am with all of this that I've got to do in front of me. I've got all these positions to fill. I'm going to go look in LinkedIn. I'm going to go make all these decisions, and I'm going to make something happen. So I think it's more as we've gone away in recruiting from picking up the phone and calling people and networking with them, and have fallen back to bring me over the sourcer and have her or him go find me some people on LinkedIn, or let's search our database and turn it over. I think the front lines are now changing, where if you don't have on your personal Twitter things going on with that the candidates you're recruiting can relate to, then it makes it harder for you to pick up the phone and actually call them and say, hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So on the front lines, you are now in a predicament. You are either going to be the person that you are saying you are and you're recruiting as, or you're going to move on from your position. And it's kind of a tough spot. It's like, oh my gosh. But listen, people like you for you. So if you love to run, if you love to play Dungeons and Dragons, if you love the Big Bang Theory, tweet about it. You're going to attract people to you because you. So the front lines is being able to talk about you, and at the same time, being able to go in and use the tools that you have effectively. But again, they are not the panacea. This is not the answer. The answer is on the phone and building a relationship with somebody. But You need to lean into using those tools and be able to talk about yourself and who you are, whether you're the company and it's your culture, or it's the person yourself. Because at the end of the day, your Facebook fan page, don't lie.
Social networking is all about who you know. So what are your best tips for helping potential candidates get to know your company, your brand, or your jobs when you're trying to grow your talent pool?
Well, I got 3 gems for you. First off is that marketers think people habits and not search terms. So if you brought the person in who is the head of marketing for your company and you showed them what you're putting out on your social media, would they be okay with that? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what, they spend some time on that fan page, and they've worked on the fan page and the Twitter and the Google Plus, and they really want to make sure they have a consistent message. So that's the first thing, is be able to think like a marketer and think what people are doing and where people are. So rather than just thinking search terms, I want somebody that has this certain piece to it and they have this background, think where they are and who they are, and cross-reference that with the marketing department. Are you giving a consistent message as the marketing department? I guarantee you're going to go in and you're going to find yourself communicating in some ways that are dissonant to the marketing team, and hence being able to take down the efficacy of the brand. Do things, the second one is do things in your life, I just talked about this a second ago, that your candidates do and post about it on social media. There's plenty of people out there who have a recruiter account for the company that they work for, and it's on a Twitter account and saying, I'm such and such a recruiter. That person that you're really looking for, the one that's the passive candidate, the one that actually can do the job gangbusters, cannot follow you. It's unethical for them to follow you if they really want to keep their job, or if they just want to be in the right place. They can't follow your tweets, they can't look at you, they can't go and follow you because you're not actually putting up content that is relevant to them, let alone like or retweet you. All right. So in any type of place, it's doing who you are. I run a lot. I love putting up pictures when I'm running because I run through the city of Baltimore, and there's all these beautiful pictures. I can't help myself. And on my Twitter, I don't have recruiter on there. I have people find it. So being able to take off recruiter and being able to put up something that more says who you are. So post jobs on a 1-to-4 ratio. Okay. Now, when you see all of this, you're going like, well, how does this help me find more people? You're turning it around. Marketing is attracting people. Recruiting is moving to marketing. So when somebody comes to a Facebook fan page, which is the epicenter of the social media world, when they come to the Facebook fan page, if they have momentum coming through that fan page, that momentum is going to have them engage with your brand and then potentially be able to apply for an opportunity. So you want to have a 1-to-4 job posting ratio. On a fan page, that means 1 a week. On Twitter, that means you are checking yourself by how much you're actually posting. The last piece that I want to go say here, this little gem, is the American Idol. All right? There's 3 types of American Idols. You get to pick which one you want to be. 1, the ones that think that they are good. Okay? Those are the ones that come on. They're insecure. We all know it. They're not really good enough. But they make some loud noise, and they get a little bit upset when nobody picks them. Okay? Then there's the second, that they wish that they were good. And those are the ones that come on, and they are selling themselves, and they got everything going on but a voice. And we know that also. And we go, dang, I really wish she would have gone and got some singing lessons. And then there's the ones that are good. And they're not coming out going, I know I'm good. They come out and they're humble. That is the best way to use social media to search for people for candidates. It's very passive, but it brings them to you. So the ones that are good have people voting for them, have people engaging with them. And if you're a good singer, you know, you're not engaging with an ego, you're engaging with somebody who's valid. So there's your 3 gems, straight from me.
Do you have any other tips or thoughts on the social job search from either the job seeker or recruiter and employer perspective?
Yes. Pictures, pictures, and pictures. So when you have a picture, it brings the emotion of who you are and what you're talking about. I know that sounds super touchy-feely. We're talking about people's careers. We're talking about their lifelong careers and their relationship with you of being able to fill other positions and everything else. So that picture, when you walk out the door, today, tomorrow, just start snapping pictures. And when you go to put a post up, just start throwing a picture up. BTW, Photoshop is $20 a month. You can rent it from Adobe. There is no big secret to how to do that. It's just spending time. It's just like anything else. But now that we are in the age of social recruiting, there's no going back. So, and social media marketing has been doing this for a long time. So everybody that's throwing up social recruiting and ready to go and we're social recruiting, all of these things have already been thought of. They've already been worked out and vetted. The 101 is to get a picture up there. So that's my fourth gem, I guess.